Yes.
Okay, good. That's fine. So we will start our youth leadership program. I think this is a very well-known program from Toastmasters. Does anyone have already conducted a youth leadership program? At least one. Congratulations. Nice. I think this is a very interesting program. This is will be our main agenda for today's workshop. This is something very simple. It will only have 6 main points. The first one is a brief introduction. The second, I will do a very brief and funny quiz for all of you to test your knowledge. And if you are ready, you can conduct the youth leadership. Otherwise, you can't. I'm afraid to say so. Then we step for number 3, to speak a little more detailed about the youth leadership program. I will give you also a very brief overview, how to get started, how does it work, and then finally, the reasons I think this is just the right program for all of you. Are you ready? Good, good. So let's move on. First of all, I would like to ask you a question. Do you remember when you were a teenager? I'm quite sure you do. Well, if you were like me, for sure, there were some times when you battled your self-esteem and just the idea of public speaking could be scarier than telling your parents, well, you know. I'm quite sure of it. So by now, most people alive, So by now, most people alive know that COVID-19 has infected nearly every continent, forced countries into states of emergency, sent individuals into varying levels of quarantine and isolation, and shuttered business and schools. But there's also a lesser known story that also deserves your attention. Youth rising up to challenge of this pandemic. Do you agree with it? Good. We have all been thrown up into a new environment, and for sure coronavirus has made new terms we are already familiar to, like social distancing and self-isolation. It has enveloped us, communities around the world, in fear. At least that was I have been feeling for the past almost 2 years. But even as young people faced unprecedented difficulties and uncharted paths, they have also been rising up to make a difference. Young leaders have emerged of some of the most prominent voices in the world today, from climate activists to young inventors. Modern youth has taken advantage of their elevated platforms also on social media to inspire people all over the globe. Yes, that's true. We have teens changing the world. That is why, starting from today, I would like you to seriously consider to run the youth leadership program. While some of us may never visit Pakistan, for example, or even find ourselves in remote places, but one thing I'm quite sure, when we really touch their hearts, their stories will also do magic, and you can find something very special that transcends time and space. Guess what? Your will to help others. So before rolling up your sleeves, I will have the brief challenge I have already talked to you about, just to be sure you're from Earth planet and not from somewhere else on the universe. Are you ready? Okay, so let's go to Kahoot. Do you know Kahoot? Yes, good, more or less. Okay. So I will briefly explain you Kahoot so you can get familiar too. This is a game-based learning platform that makes it easy to play trivial quizzes in minutes. To join in, you will only need the PIN code I will share with you in a while, and you will see the questions on the shared screen. Then, on your mobile phone, for each question, you will have 4 options, and you can choose what you think the right answer is. You will have 20 seconds to introduce your answer, and that's all. I will have only 3 questions. Are you okay with it? Okay, to summarize, good. Insert a PIN code. Questions are on the share screen. Answers are on your mobile phone. Ready to have some fun? Let's try it. Okay. For now, I will stop sharing this screen, and I will introduce the Kahoot one. I will now share again so you can see the PIN code. But I think you have to allow me to share the screen again. Can you do that?
I have already done it.
Okay.
Right then?
Good. Are you seeing the Kahoot screen or not?
Not yet.
Not yet. But you should see it by now. Let's see.
Yeah, it started.
Good. Good. So you have to introduce the PIN you are seeing on the top of the screen on your mobile phones. Are you ready?
Yes.
No, I'm not ready. So where is the app or the website? What do we
You
have
have
to
it
do?
on the top of the screen. You have www.
I understood that. I mean on the mobile phone. So we need to start an app or a website?
No. On the browser of your mobile phone, you just enter www.kahoot.it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Is everyone in already?
Not everyone.
I'm just checking. At least 3 of you are already.
No.
Nope.
Not yet. No.
We all can. This is just to have fun, so please don't feel the pressure.
Under pressure.
Are you listening already? Something?
Yeah, but it told me that we have reached a number of player limits.
Really? Can we only do it with only 3? No? Does anyone else have the same warning? Okay, so we have so far M. Dias, Casper, and Inês Caneira. Is that it? All the other ones can't enter the Kahoot application?
Yes, me too.
You enter, or you have the same issues as me?
Sorry?
Did you enter?
No, I have the same message.
Okay, so maybe we
Alexandra, talvez tenhas colocado uma opção de limite de participantes no
I
Kahoot.
don't think so.
Exactly.
I don't think so. But I would say we can get some improvement, and I will try to update the number of players. Just let me check.
It doesn't get in on mine.
Do you have a red message at the bottom? Where you see player, look, you have a message on your screen also. You see below your screen, there is a red message with a...
Yes.
What does it say? Because we have a gray things on it.
Yes, so do I. Well, that's right. Upgrade to allow more players to join your game. Oh, say this is
A free...
Yeah. So I didn't knew. So we only can get 3. Do you mind if we go on just with these 3 players? The lucky
No
ones?
worries.
You
No
can
worries.
answer in the chat, no?
Yes, but you can cheer up all the 3 and make guesses who will be the lucky winner. Okay? Can we move on?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will start. Let's see the questions. Ready? Just don't know why this is.
Agora vais mudar o pin outra vez.
Yes, I'm sorry. So I will give you another 3 players. I'm sorry. Let's see which 3 now will be the lucky ones. And then we could go on. Because when I've tested this before, there were more than 3 players. Well, we have now Dulce. Okay, congratulations, Dulce. Steph and MDS. Okay, so let's start. Ready? First question. Who is the Pakistani activist for female education and the world's youngest Nobel Prize laureate? Your 4 answers. You should choose one of them. 20 seconds. Good. Okay. We will move on. Second question. Good. Let's see. Name the co-founder of Too Good To Go. That's a social impact company focused on fighting food waste in 2016. Pretty good. Last one. At the 2019 UN Climate Summit, the sentence, "How dare you," became famous worldwide. Who's the teenage author? I would say I have a guess. Look at the yellow one. Okay, so let's see. Here's the lucky winner. 3rd place, 2nd place, and finally, congratulations, Dulce. You're the winner. So I would say Dulce is more than ready to run the Youth Leadership Program. Okay, that's fine. Let's move on. I hope you had some fun. I will now stop sharing the Kahoot and I will just start. Are you already seeing the screen?
Yes.
Good. Is everything okay so far? Everyone alive? Okay, so let's talk a little more about the Youth Leadership Program. I believe all teams can benefit from what Toastmaster teaches. Young people will still need communication skills, as we already know, both to deliver classroom presentation or interview jobs, or even speak up in the workplace, and also listen attentively to others. Look, when they will be out in the larger world, they also will need interpersonal skills, just to navigate through sticky situations that will inevitably arise with colleagues or friends. I believe some of you might already have some of these situations also, and those skills on communications or even in the leadership might be very useful for us. Again, 2020 was a remarkable year in many ways. Unforeseen changes have happened in our societies due to the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic, changing the ways we are working together and socializing. Staying at home and social distancing have become part of our everyday life. And still, I believe young people are the future, and the future of work needs great leaders. So, robots, artificial intelligence, and automation will never replace inspiring leaders. Do you agree? Good. But what does it mean to be an effective leader in the digital age? Well, I've done some research and I found an article at Forbes from Michaela Lindinger, and I will quote what Michaela wrote in the article. Whatever we consider a leadership task today will remain one in the future. Defining goals and strategies, organizing and allowing for efficient collaboration, ensuring proper communication and networking, fostering innovation. Well, it's essential for our current and future workforce, as well as the growth of population of millennial customers. To make sure we can articulate a higher and clear purpose behind what we're doing, why we're doing, and how exactly we will meet our ambition goals in our daily process lives. I think this is what means to be an effective leader in the digital age. And please remember that robots and artificial intelligence will be the future, of course, but leadership skills will remain the same as they are today. So keeping this in our mind, what skills do good leaders need to have in the digital age? Well, effective leaders of today and tomorrow need to acquire a modern tool belt for culture collaboration and leadership in times of change and complexity. They will be required by the next generation of employees to relearn the essentials of effective teamwork and understand how to create value for their teams and companies. And guess what? There are good news. Toastmasters offers community-based programs at helping teams develop communication and leadership abilities. Is that right? Well, the ones that are already familiar with the youth leadership, I would say the answer, of course, is yes. The purpose of the youth leadership program, I can tell you that every young person has the potential to become a good communicator and leader, but this potential needs to be developed. The program's unique 8-session workshop style design enables participants to develop his potential through practical experience, the example of others, and guidance from the program facilitators. It's important to highlight, this is very important indeed, that youth leadership program is not in competition with school programs or other established youth projects. Instead, it's an additional add-on that provides emphasis on specialized speaking, leadership skills, and individual needs. But what about the program, you might be asking now? Think all the benefits you gained from your involvement in Toastmasters. Now imagine giving all those benefits to high schoolers. Can you realize all those things they might accomplish and the advantage they will take through self-confidence and speaking skills? Well, I think you already know the answer by now. Remember first words of Vera today's at the introduction. She spoke about self-confidence and speaking skills. These are the two main keywords that will always be present at the youth leadership program. The youth leadership program can successfully help young people to grow and to meet the challenge of the adulthood by building their self-confidence as they develop their communication and leadership skills, so they might become tomorrow's leaders in business, their communities, and in business or industries, well, any other jobs they will take for the future. And the materials are based on the program sponsored and conducted by Toastmasters and its local clubs. So far, so good? Yes, I will think so. So the Youth Leadership Program, as I've already said, is an 8-session workshop geared to the age of 18 to practice communication and leadership skills. Experienced club members present 8 sessions to participants at a school with 1 or 2 hours long each, depending on the size of the group. Through the program, the young participants will learn skills such as, well, I've chose some of the main topics, like overcoming nervousness when speaking in front of an audience. Has everyone felt already the butterflies in your stomach when you were invited to do an impromptu speech, for instance? For your faces, I would say there are no butterflies on your stomach. Well, if you are organizing a speech, you have to present ideas clearly and logically, and they will also be thought on how to do it, controlling their voices and gestures, listening carefully to others' ideas. Well, for me, this is mainly the most difficult skill I have, because when we know our own opinion, we tend to believe others' opinions could be also similar, or if they are quite different, sometimes we have the feeling to tear it apart. So listening carefully to others' ideas, it's quite a good skill to develop with this program. Besides, it also delivers prepared and impromptu speeches, like in an ordinary session of Toastmasters, and giving constructive feedback through listening and evaluation, of course. Improving their vocabulary is also very important, and you might already be thinking in the word of the day. And these topics are mainly on the communication skills, but we also have the leadership through the chairman, because they will also have a group of officers, we could say so, and they develop the leadership, okay, just as we have the officers in a club. So, how to get started? First of all, it's important to recruit Trustmasters members as the program coordinator and the assistant coordinator. We'll have at least these 2 ones. Then you have to find a venue to host the youth leadership program, and of course organize a group, I would say of 15 to 20 participants, but this is not very relevant. You will also have to get sponsorship from a Toastmaster club in order to purchase the youth leadership program workbooks, the coordinator guide, and of course, the completion certificates you will deliver each participant by the end of the program. As for the sponsors, it will be a local Toastmaster club that serves as a sponsor and provides the experienced leaders needed to present the program. And you might ask, who's the program coordinator and the assistant coordinator? Well, the coordinator is the adult with the overall responsibility for the program and needs to have at least 2 levels in pathways. He or she will work closely with the school organization and will attend each meeting, conducting most of the training and counseling participants. As far as the coordinator, the assistant coordinator will conduct discussions and will substitute the coordinator should he or she be unable to attend any meeting, for example. There are no costs to participants for tuition or materials, as items used in the program are produced by the Toastmaster International and provided by the sponsoring Toastmaster Club, which will order them for a small fee. Is everything okay so far? Well, good. So, how does it really work? The program is presented over 8 sessions. I've already mentioned it before. It can be during or after school, and the activities taking place include the main items I've already described, the evaluation of present speaking ability. These could be similar to a diagnosis, a national diagnosis for them, so they can check how familiar they are with public speaking or not. Then we can have the discussion of the chairman principles. They will choose their own team of leaders. They will present some speeches. They will also do some impromptu talks. They will do group evaluation, speech organization. They will practice in listening, very important. And they will work gestures in speaking through the body language, of course. Improve their voice and vocabulary, and they will also do their exercise in the leadership, in the chairman. So the meetings follow a very similar format to a Toastmaster Club meeting, because there is an announced agenda and participants learn and practice during each meeting. Selected teams manage the sessions, while the remaining class members are assigned other duties on a rotation basis. So everyone is actively involved. Participants can also deliver short, impromptu and prepared speeches in every meeting. And they learn to apply the principles of learning, thinking, and speaking. Okay? I have now the main points of the 8 sessions. It will be just a brief overview. In the first session, they will be introduced to the chairmanship. They will they will choose their own leaders. There's a process for this. It's described on the manual of the coordinator. On session number 2, they will be introduced to public speaking. Session number 3, we will work on impromptu speaking. Session number 4, we will move on to something more involved like listening. Session number 6, gestures in speaking. And 7 and 8 will be the last 2 sessions for the voice and vocabulary. And the final one, it's also very important. It's where we can do something special, mixing all the skills we have worked before. And so they can be shown up in an open ceremony for parents or other classes, for instance. This is usually very important for them because it's like a recognition of their work and they feel very proud of it. It's very, very, very powerful. Why do I think this is just the right project for you? Well, I can do it because for my own experience, I've run already several youth leadership programs before the pandemic, of course. During the pandemic, schools have become a little more far from this program, but I think we can, in the meantime, get it somewhere in the near of us. And as I was told, I have already run some youth leadership programs, and I've been through some very awkward situations during the program. I can share some of them with you. And these situations have turned out to become very, very important. And that's why I think they will be also very important for all of you. One of the very awkward situations I faced was the parents' disbelief of their own children. I'm a mother, and I couldn't believe parents to show doubts on their kids, because I think this is not something a parent should feel. We shouldn't feel embarrassed or shamed about our own kids. We should try to motivate them and give them the strength. If they are not feeling confident, we could give them something for them to move on. There are also teens with family problems, and they use these opportunities to share their difficulties. And sometimes their closest colleagues don't even know they have these difficulties. So it's also a good point to turn this as a benefit. We also have shy teens who turn out, after all, to be very good surprises at the end of the program. And I think the most touchful one was see parents crying in awe at a final ceremony just for witnessing what in the first place they thought it wasn't possible, seeing their kids doing that. So this is really, really very nice. I could go on with the list, but I'm quite sure I prefer you can experience yourselves, because I've just choose 6 points I believe you will develop also through the program. The first one, you'll be able to climb to new challenges because you will develop your strategic capabilities to engage and inspire teams. Reason number 2, you will lead teams and manage different points of view. I believe strategy alone cannot create or sustain value. So to effectively execute and manage the change process, you will need to use both negotiation and influential skills. So we all know teams are sometimes can be very difficult, and you will be able to develop these ones. Reason number 3, you will be able to do your effective decision making, because one of the greatest challenges leaders face today is making decisions through uncertainty. And I'm quite sure also you will be able to learn how to manage the digital teens generation. Sometimes we need a bit of help with our mobile phone, with our apps at personal computer, and who's the first one to help us? Well, if we have any teen at home, he or she will be the one to take the step. Reason number 4, you will be able to deliver customer value. The long-term success of any organization is often determined by ability to create and deliver customer value. So be ready to leave your own trademark for the future. Reason number 5, it's also a journey of self-awareness. I began by challenging you to understand your contribution as a leader, allow you to increase your self-awareness by experiencing new contexts. That will also help you to develop a more global perspective. And finally, last but not least, your pathways career. You will get your credit for your DTM. You seem very interested. Should I go back? Well, I have chosen a quote for Eleanor Roosevelt, and I think it represents exactly what a youth leadership program means, because one's philosophy is not best expressed in words. It is expressed in the choices one makes. Is it similar to a Toastmasters meeting? We have to do it. In the long run, we shape our lives and we shape ourselves. The process never ends until we die, and the choices we make are ultimately our own responsibility. If you remember, if you can recall any of your speeches and the feedback you have received, you can understand what it means. We have to take the step. So you can either test it, or you can just sit and watch. I would say the decision is yours. Do you feel inspired to run an youth leadership program by now? I don't think I have any sound.
But we have some thumbs up.
Okay, okay. So, do you have any question? So far, Aurea has been the one who has not conducted the program, but was responsible for managing some of the programs. Is that it? Does anyone has already been in a youth leadership program?
We will start next week one.
Good. Okay. So you will start your program. It will
Yes.
be where?
In Alcanena.
Good. In
the 12 year of education.
Good, good. Do you know already how many students do you have?
Yes, 3 classes of more or less 20 persons.
Wow, that will be quite a challenge. Do you have any questions? Would you like to, any doubts you might have? You already have the materials, the coordinator guide?
Yes, I have a copy of one.
Okay. Have you seen already the first steps you will need to do?
Mhm.
Good. Anyone else?
Alexandra,
Yes.
okay, I want to start I think in March of next month. I want to start in a school in
Good.
Villarreal, San Antonio.
Okay.
This program, youth leadership, but I would like to have the slides you just show us. I couldn't see properly. I don't know if it's my connection, but it's not readable. Is it
Okay.
possible you send
Of
me
course.
the
Sure.
slides? I can show the colleagues that were gonna make that with me.
Of course, I will
I thought
send
we
it
have
to
a-
Clara.
We will do in different classes. I think maybe 10 to 15, but more classes than we won't do it for a few classes in Villarreal.
Okay.
Because
It will
we're
be-
thinking in create a club in Villarreal, and we want to start on the school with the youth leadership
Okay, but
before we start a new club.
do you already have a club, as a sponsor club?
No, we want first of all, we want to do the youth leadership in the school over there,
Okay.
and then we just want to create a new club in Villarreal, because
Okay.
I am from Algarve Toastmasters in Faro.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
fine. Good.
Yeah, and we have some members. They come from Villarreal. It's a little bit far, about 50 kilometers, and we thought about create a new club over there. But
Okay.
first of all, we want to start with the youth leadership on the school.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and then to have a place there to
Have the meeting.
session.
Good.
Yeah, first
That's
of all,
nice.
giving, and then we can take something.
Yes. That's a good principle, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because just ask without giving is not good. And we show them first and give something, and then they can just give us a room for sessions.
Yes. It's quite fair to be enough. Okay. So, does anyone have any question, any doubt, any story to share you might already have had in a school, either with your kids or with any teen?
Can I share?
Of course.
Okay. One time with a student that has autism,
Okay.
but it was a challenge for me and for the professor. But I talked with the mother of the students and in the collaborator with her. In the second section that we do in the school, the students want to participate in all the functions and want to do all that we propose. So it was with the professor was not expect that the students want to share, and it was very, very good to see the growing the kids it's going to grow in the
Session by
the-
session.
yes. Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah.
It was very, very, very good to see that.
Yes, that's true. That these are the very enrichment we can take also from the youth leadership program, because if I can give you a piece of advice, I would say you don't have to worry to follow strictly the guidelines that are on the coordinator guide. You don't just have to follow the rules. You have to fit into the group, because every group is very different from each other. And first of all, well, when I start a leadership program, the first thing I would say to them is there are only 3 rules to run the youth leadership program. And they look at me seriously, and I think they are thinking, well, this one is crazy, because she is going to do something with us and she's already speaking in 3 rules. And then I say, the first one is to have fun. Well, you can look at their faces and they are already relaxing. The second rule is to have fun. And guess what? The third one, and they already know the answer. So this is what we can expect from them. They will be taught. It's an expression we can use to develop the skills of communication and also the leadership. But most important of all, they have to feel they are getting some fun out of it. And of course, we are having some fun too. This is a win-win relation. And if it's not like this, I think we can get a poor result at the end of it. So have some fun with them. Of course, there are some guidelines we have to follow, as in a traditional session of Toastmasters. But you know, meetings from Toastmasters Club are somehow different from club to club. But they also have an agenda. They have the leadership officers. So my advice to you, if I am allowed to do it, is have some fun with them and don't worry. And by the end of the program, you will for sure see excellent results for all. You don't seem quite convinced yet? Should I try to do a youth leadership program with you right now?
We are not that youth. or at least I am not. I'm sorry. I'm just talking about myself. But Ari wants to speak, I guess.
Yes,
Okay.
please. Yes. I understand that one has to have 2 levels of pathways to run the youth leadership program. Is
Yes.
that so? Even if one has done the full program in the old curriculum, that's not sufficient.
Yes, that's right.
Mhm. Okay, so, and you mentioned that there is DTM, or it can contribute to DTM in what way?
Well, you'll receive your credit in your Pathways career just by taking the youth leadership program, because on your leadership program, you have several items, and one of them is to conduct a youth leadership program.
For the DTM?
Yes.
So in the new program, everyone who wants to get the DTM has to run a youth leadership program?
Not necessarily a youth leadership program. I think there are another option. I'm not quite sure which is the other option so far, but Vera, do you know what you...
I'm searching for it, because I'm always mixing up things, but I'm looking for it, okay?
Okay, but if one thing is for sure, you can do the youth leadership program or another option, and I'm not quite sure which is the other option. I think is well,
I have found it. So you can serve successfully as a club sponsor or conduct a speechcraft or youth leadership program.
Okay.
So it was one of these three.
Okay. Mhm.
It was more or less like in the other program, in the legacy program, and you have the options, but this one is one of the options, and you will, if you do it, it will be helpful for your DTM project or path.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Aurea, any other question?
Not at the moment. No, thank you.
Okay.
So I don't know if anyone has another thing to add to this online session that Shanna has conducted. Most of all, I guess that we had the opportunity to learn more about the youth leadership program. And I really found it very interesting that Shanna has given us reasons to conduct a youth leadership program that are beyond the DTM project. And it was very interesting for me to remind myself how it was a very thrilling experience when I had a youth leadership project that I was conducting, because I am always remembering that at the end, in the last meeting where we had our presentations to the families and to the school, there was this young girl, a very timid one, that told me, and another Toastmaster that was with me, she said something like, "Thank you, because you have changed my life." And it was very, very
touchful,
because it was true. And I'm still friend of that young girl. Now she is at university. And I guess that when we sometimes don't know what we are doing, or we don't know the impact that we have in people around us, I'm pretty sure that we have changed the way in which that girl sees herself. So it was a very, very touching and empowering experience for us, but mainly for her. So I don't know if you have the time, I don't know if you have the energy, I don't know if you have the place to conduct a youth leadership project or program. I'm always confusing myself. But if you do, I'm pretty sure that you are going to use your time in a very powerful and impacting way around the community. And it will be a very interesting opportunity for each one of you. So I don't know if you want to add anything. Otherwise, I guess I will have to thank Alexandra for letting us learn from you.
Of course,
thank you. It was a very, very interesting session. And if you allow me, I will share your slides with the ones here.
Sure.
Like Jose was asking. And if you have any questions, any doubts, if you want to learn anything else, if you also have some ideas about what other online sessions we can organize to the district, please let me know, and I will try to find a way of doing it. So if anyone wants to add anything, I will thank you, and we will meet again soon. So enjoy your Sunday, have a lovely week, and let's meet in Aveiro, as you all know, and let's meet online anytime we want and anytime it's possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice
Thank
week
you.
for all of
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Have a good
Bye
week.
bye. Thank you. It was
Bye-bye.
lovely. Thank you.
Thank you very much.